Hey everyone, this is Mukesh Chotwani once again from learn-automation.com. Today in this video, we are going to automate one complete end-to-end registration page using Playwright with Java. So in the previous videos, we have seen how to work with simple, text box and the button. But today we'll see how to enter the details to this form. So how to handle checkboxes, radio button, drop downs, multi-select drop down, and how you can verify whether this button is disabled or not, enabled or not. So we're going to learn a lot of things in this video. So if you're completely new, I would highly recommend you to watch my previous videos where we discuss installation, how to write the first script and so on. Now we are going to continue with registration page. Okay. So I'm going to create a new class called register new user. Let me click on main method and now let's get started. Now in order to start, I will be using Playwright. So the moment you say playwright.create, we'll use Chromium and I will use launch. So we'll get a browser instance. Let me store in a browser reference. Now I need a page, so we'll use browser.new page and we are good to go. So once I get the page, now we can navigate. So it will ask you to import page. So import page from com.microsoft.playwright. Now you can directly start automating directly from this, or let's start from here. So I will use page.navigate. This we already discussed. Now let's say I want to click on this link. This is the text. So I will go ahead and I will say page dot get by text. We'll pass the text and I will say dot click. Now click on this. Now I want to fill this form. Now before I fill this form, I also need to check. This is one of the validation that if I don't fill this field, by default this button should be disabled. What I mean, so let's say if I fill this values and then this button will be enabled. Right now by default it is disabled. I need to verify that this is disabled. So I will inspect this and now notice this is a text which I can use, or I can use this class. So if I write one XPath that find a button where class equal to submit button, we got one. You can go with text as well. Okay, you can use this text called sign up, but make sure when you use sign up text, it will give you two matching nodes. So you can use second one and continue. I'm using XPath, but let's say if you directly want to use class, you can do that. For example, if you want to use directly class name, you can say dot and use this class name called submit btn, or you can write XPath. It's up to you. I need to check whether this is enabled or not. So what I will do, I will use something called playwright assertions. Assert that, and you can see this is one of the method which says give me locator. So page.locator will return you locator, right? So if you put mouse over, it returns locator reference. So I'm just passing locator here and I will check is disabled. By default it should be disabled. And now once this is done, now I can continue with filling the form. Now let's quickly fill this. So this is a placeholder called name. I can use ID, I can use name. Let me go with ID. So page.locator. For ID I will use hash and I will say dot fill. Let me fill some name called Mukesh Kataria, some random name. Now let me fill the email. For email I have ID, placeholder, type, name. Let me go with placeholder this time. So get by placeholder and I can fill the value. Let's say Mukesh random123@gmail.com. This all we have seen in the past, so I'm going little fast. Mainly we'll focus on radio button checkboxes in the drop down. Now this is password. I can go with placeholder again. So I will use page.getBy placeholder and say .fill again. Password, let me say Mukesh@1234. Now please pay attention guys, this is important part. Now let's say I want to click on this checkbox called Selenium. If you notice, this is a label, right? You can see this label is coming. But if I expand this, this is actually my input box, which is my checkbox, right? Now, as a user, I can select either this text or I can select this checkbox. But when you work with Playwright, we can also click directly using label. But if I need to check the state, whether this checkbox is checked or not, I need to come to this input tag. So please see the application and do the operation accordingly. What I will do, I will first find this label, okay, and then I will find the input. What I mean, first I will find label called text equal to Selenium. Now checkbox is coming before Selenium, right? So I have to use preceding. So I will say / preceding : input. I got 4 input tag. I will go with 1. Now you can see it's highlighting the checkbox which is before Selenium. So I can directly do locator, page.locator. Since we have written XPath, I will write XPath and dot click. Now I also need to check before clicking, it should be unchecked. Or let's say after clicking, I need to check whether it got checked or not. So again, I will use Playwright assertion. Assert that, use the same element, and I will say whether is checked. By default it is unchecked. I am clicking on it, right? Then I want to check whether it got checked or not. By any chance, if it is not checked, it will throw exception. Now you can ask one question, Mukesh, just for clicking, can I directly go with the text? Answer is yes. So for example, I want to just click on Selenium. You can directly say page.getBy text. This also works because I showed you in this application, even if I click on text, the checkbox is getting selected. So either I can go with this or I can go with this. But for verification, I need to reach till the checkbox and then I will say is checked or not. Now same thing we'll do for gender. Let's say I need to click on male. By default, male is selected. Now notice here, this is the input tag, type equal to radio, ID equal to gender1, value equal to email. And if I inspect the female one, name gender, type radio, ID equal to gender2. So I can go with IDs, but for me, value will make more sense. So male is already selected. So just for this example, I will select find input tag where value equal to female. So page.locator, I will use XPath equal to and dot click. Now if you want to check whether it got checked or not, you can use exactly what we did right now. So I will say playwright assertions assert that this particular locator is checked or not. Sometimes if application have bug, even if you click on it, it will not get selected. So we are checking. This is for verification. If you don't have verification, you can skip this step. Now please pay attention, because now we are going to see drop down. So far fill dot click is basic thing, right? Now the moment I open this application, notice that I have a state drop down, and this drop down have a tag called select tag. But the moment you start working, you will also find drop down with different tags, sometimes a tag, div tag, span tag, b tag. So any other drop down which does not have a select tag have a different approach, that also we will discuss. As of now, in this page, both the drop downs have a select tag. So if you again inspect this, this is a state drop down. So select tag, name equal to state, id equal to state. The moment you expand this, you can see we have all the states, right? They have a value, text, value, text, value, text, and if you see till the end, we have value and text. Let's see how to handle this. So first step is standard. You need to locate that drop down. For locate, we have seen multiple options, right? In this case, I can see we have ID, we have a name. I will go with ID, which is state. So come back, page dot locator, ID I will use hash. Let me increase the font size. And now I will use dot, and you will see this method called select option. So many methods, all these are overloaded methods. Right now the state drop down which I am showing you is a single select drop down. When it's a single select, you can select one value at a time. So if I select, let's say Karnataka, if I want to select another one, the previous one will get deselected. But the next drop down which I have, it's multi-select. Hobbies, I can have multiple hobbies. So I can select multi-select drop down as well, which I will show you now. But as of now, in this case, I will select single select drop down. So you can see we have multiple overloaded method overloading. So I will say select option. Now you need to pass the text. I will go, let's say Goa. So I will select this and I will pass Goa here. It's going to find this particular drop down and it will select Goa from the drop down. Exactly same thing for the next drop down. For example, this is my hobbies. Notice this is also select tag. This time we have an additional attribute called multiple. It's multi-select drop down. I also have a ID and I can select multiple values. So again find this page dot locator, ID, so hash. Now notice we can pass here multiple drop down values as an array. You can see, right, we have multiple options. We'll go with string array. So let's create one string array. Let's say I want to select playing. And how do we select values? I will select, then press command from the keyboard and I can select multiple values, right? In Windows you will use control. In Mac I'm using command. So command. Let's say I want to select playing and swimming. So I'm going to create one string array and I will say hobbies. First value, second value, and this is my array. So bracket. First value which I want to select is playing and I want to select swimming. So these are the two options which I want to select in this drop down. So I will pass this reference here, hobbies. So the first drop down, it's a single select drop down. I'm selecting Goa. Second drop down, it's a multi-select. So I'm passing two values and these values are coming as a string array. Now once we are done, you will notice this button will be enabled. So I need to check whether it has been enabled or not, right? So if we come back, we have already written that before entering the value, it should be disabled. Now I will reverse this condition. So after filling these values, I want to say it should be enabled. And once it is enabled, we just want to click. So I will say same locator, click. Now it will be very fast and I want to show you. So I will say page dot wait for timeout. Let me give 5 seconds, which is 5000 milliseconds. So before we execute, page instance, first of all browser, then page, navigate, click on the link, check it should be disabled, enter password, then select checkbox, verify the checkbox has been checked, click on radio button, verify it has been checked, select Goa, select hobbies, click on a button, and then wait. This is optional. Since I'm recording video, I need to show you whether page has been completed or not. In your case, you can skip this. Okay, one thing before we execute is, by default, as we discussed earlier, each and every browser will be running in the headless mode, right? I want to see the real execution. So in this launch method, we will set the value that we want to see the headed mode. So I will say new browser type dot launch option, set headless equal to false. It means I don't want headless mode. Now let's execute. Now since we are giving Chromium, it will start in Chrome. And here we go. It was too fast. It entered all the values. And since this email is already registered, it says email already registered. Let me change it to some random email. Execute again. And here we go. It hardly took 2 seconds and the complete page it has completed, like complete registration page it has completed. And we have seen that if you want to run little slow, you can set slow motion to maybe 500 millisecond. So now you will see some actions, but little slow. Click, type, click, select. This email already registered. Now how to generate random email, which I will show you, but let me also run in Firefox so that will verify whether all the browsers are able to do this or not. So we'll see our script is working fine on Firefox. I changed from Chromium to Firefox. It's running here. Yes, Firefox also running. Let me also change this to WebKit. It should run on the WebKit as well, which is basically Safari engine. Just started. Obviously this also will say email registered, because in this application we have a check, it will only accept unique emails. So I hope this part is clear. Now when it comes to random email generation, you have two options. So in Java we have something called faker library, which can generate the fake data for you. So right now if you notice, I'm giving static name, password, email, right? Let's say if I want this detail randomly, I can use faker library. In this application, email should be unique. So what we will do, first we will type automation underscore, then I will use system class, and I will get the current time in millisecond. Obviously time will never be unique, so it will keep on changing. Then I will say dot, not dot, @ gmail.com. So basically automation underscore current date time in millisecond @gmail.com, and it will never fail now. Execute. Yeah, you can see unique. And let me change back to Chromium. Let's execute one more time. Again, unique email. Okay, now this is what I want to give you as assignment. Every time I fill unique values, I give this text, right? Right now I'm not verifying this text. You need to verify this text. So what you will do, you will capture the text, you will verify this sign up successfully, please log in. This text you need to verify. If it says successful, your assertion should be passed. If it is not giving any message, it should fail. Now there's a bonus who are watching this video till the end. Now I will use one more library called Faker library, and let's get everything randomly using Faker library. So for this, let me show you this Faker library. Search for Faker library Java. As the name says, it will generate fake data. So I will go ahead and use this dependency. If you're using Gradle, you can go with Gradle. I'm using Maven, so I will go to pom.xml file. And I will just add this dependency. And we are good to go. Now, how do you generate the fake data? Very straightforward. You create object of Faker class. Then depends what fake data you need. You need name, you need email address, you need phone number, and so on. So once you create object, if you say faker.name.fullname, faker.name.firstname, last name, street address, and so on, you can actually generate fake data. For these are the different type it supports. And if you want to work with different languages, you can also provide your locale, and these are the different locale it supports. So in this case, I just need name, right? So I will remove this. I will say create object of Faker class. I just need name. That too I need full name. So it will keep on generating full name randomly and it will pass. What about email? So again I will say Faker dot. Now notice we don't have any separate method which returns me email. So what I will do, I will take first name underscore last name @gmail.com. So first name last name @gmail.com. So name, first name, this is one string, plus plus, I will use underscore, again I will use new Faker class, I just need name, this time last name. Once we get the last name, I will use plus again and @gmail.com. That's all. Password is up to you, but if you want to generate the password also randomly, otherwise leave whatever we have right now. Execute now. Okay, again too fast. Let me set the slow motion 1000. Like for after every step, wait for 1 second. See, random email, random name, password, and done. Now please verify this message and let me know if you face an issue. So I hope you have learned something new from this video. If yes, then do support this channel, share this with your colleagues, friends, and whatever task I'm giving, please try to complete this task so that you can practice. If you face any issues, I will help you out. So yeah, thank you so much. If you're new to this channel, then make sure you subscribe this channel, and I will see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye, take care.